I don't dance, much like Corbin Blue, but here we are. Hi, I'm Pale Kale, and today it's my birthday. So here's my review of Happy Birthday to Me. This is one of those classic films that is based around a holiday. Came out in 1981, so you know it's gonna be a doozy. So this 1981 slasher film revolves around the Crawford Top 10, an elitist group of rich, spoiled children who are picked off one by one and murdered by an unknown assailant, all culminating around one of the members' 18th birthday. This one felt very appropriate given that today is my birthday, which is why the cupcake. I'm hoping 29 will be kind to me. Fair warning, this video is probably going to be a long one because I had a lot to say about a lot of the film, and you'll see why, so stay tuned for that. Let me know what you think about this makeup look down below, and if there's any makeup looks you'd like to see or any movies you would like for me to review, I would be very open to suggestions because I need some, so please let me know. And I do want to just say real quick, thank you to everyone who has followed the channel, our regular watchers, our new watchers, just anybody who's been tuning in. Really appreciate it, means a lot. I just want to say thank you. Let's get into Happy Birthday to Me. Let's get this started. I don't really have a plan today as far as my makeup goes, unsurprisingly. I think I'm just gonna do like a really grungy yellow look because yellow is my favorite color, believe it or not. And it's my birthday, it's my party, and I'll yellow if I want to. We open the film with our girl Bernadette here. She is a student at some like hoity-toity fancy school, Crawford Academy I think is what it's called, and she is part of the most popular clique in school, which is called the Crawford Top 10. They call themselves that, which to me, like, if you have to give your clique a nickname yourselves, like, that's not cool, but I digress. I guess they're super popular. I think they're supposed to be like the smartest kids too. I don't really know, but I mean, they're horrible at school. They're late to everything, and their headmistress seems to hate them, including Bernadette. She runs into the headmistress on the way to this bar that the kids hang out at. It seems like they're in college, but I think they're actually in high school. I'm actually fairly certain they're in high school. So it's a little weird that they go hang out at a bar, but sure. Bernadette's on her way to the bar to meet up with her friends, the Crawford Top 10, and she runs into the headmistress, who kind of alludes to like not liking the kids, quickly establishes that these kids are kind of shitheads. I'm using this Dior stick foundation because I'm way darker than usual right now. My skin is a lot darker than usual because I've actually done the unthinkable and ventured into the sun recently. If I look a little bit less pale than usual, that is why. I don't hate this Dior stick, but it is fragrance to fucking hell, dude. It smells like very floral perfume. It's a little much, Dior. It's a little much. Bernadette quickly gets the old Annie Brackett treatment. She gets into her car and an unseen assailant from the back seat grabs her and starts strangling her. At this point, I was kind of reminded of how much Halloween truly influenced the other films in that era. It's cool to see because this is literally like Annie's death scene from Halloween, except for one thing. Our girl Bernadette, she's a fighter. She gets away. Given some final girl energy, huh? Bernadette, she starts to get away, not before, you know, pausing to cry, obviously, because whenever I'm being chased by someone who's trying to strangle me, I gotta stop, cry, look around, and then continue running. You're not just gonna run away. Where's the fun in that? She stops to cry, and then she luckily runs into an old friend, and all is well. Psych. Bet you didn't think we'd get a Sweeney Todd straight razor to the throat 5 minutes into the movie, but here we are. Welcome to Happy Birthday to Me. Meanwhile, over at the local tavern, the rest of our top 10 crew is hanging out and ready to get stupid. Incoming, a shit ton of names that I'm gonna throw at you just rapid fire. I'm only gonna include the members of the top 10 that matter. There's a few others that I probably won't list here because it's confusing, and honestly, fair warning, this movie is so fucking long and there is a lot of filler scenes, but even the filler scenes, a lot of them I had to say something about because they were funny. It's gonna be a long one. Buckle up, grab an energy drink, maybe grab a Bloom energy drink. Not sponsored, but I fucking wish. This is the Shirley Temple flavor and it's pretty good. I'm gonna give this one an 8 out of 10. It's really good. It's very sweet, but I kind of like that. Anyway, I digress. We meet up with the rest of the Crawford top 10 at Ye Olde Tavern. They're all hanging out, and like I said, I'm just gonna rapid fire throw some names at you. So we got Alfred, who I like to refer to as 1980s Finn Wolfhard. And I guess Alfred is like also a taxidermist or something.
How's the midnight taxidermist tonight?
Hey, Alfred, Alfred, get stuffed.
We've got Etienne, this French guy who is super horny all the time. We've got Anne. We've got Ginny. Ginny's our main character, and Anne is like her bestie, I guess. That's about all the character development they really gave her for now. We've got Rudy, who's a prankster. We've got Greg, who is a hot-headed himbo, definitely Aries coded. And we've got Steve, who I swear to God, I thought this was Nick from Prom Night. Do we remember Prom Night? It came out literally a year before this, so I thought, oh my God, they're the same person. They're not. I'm a fucking idiot, but they look so similar. I can't believe that's not the same person. Am I crazy? I mean, two things can be true at once, right? I guess there's like 2 more members of this little group, but like I said, they're not important. Those 7 plus Bernadette, those are like the important ones, so I don't really get why they didn't just have it be like a top 8, like very MySpace coded. I mean, where's Tom when you need him? Am I right? Again, I'm talking about a powder, I know. I know how I get it out, right? It's got this little cute sifter. It's an H, right, for Hourglass. Love that. Cute branding, yeah. But then there's this that keeps the powder in it. It's kind of like a lifted, like raised platform that keeps the powder in. The way I do my powder is I pour it into the cap and then take it from there. So I feel like I'm wasting product. Like this is like a $50 powder too. Like I don't want to waste any product. So what I've been doing is just like, but look at all that powder that went in the air. Like I'm wasting it. I don't know. Am I being cheap? Maybe. Stranger things have happened. So our little group quickly gets kicked out of the bar for inciting a bar fight.
It's a token of our friendship and esteem, your wizardship. Jesus Christ, it's a rock!
Typical high school stuff. What are you gonna do? Side note with that, how are they even allowed in the bar? Because I know what you're thinking. Oh, fake IDs. No, the bartender literally says, I'm gonna tell your headmistress on you guys.
I'm gonna tell your headmistress about this!
Meaning he knows that they're in high school and he just is serving minors knowingly. The 80s were a wild time. There's not really a lot of time to think about why the kids are allowed in the bar though, because it's time for a game of chicken. I don't know if you remember chicken from childhood. The way we always played it, it was like you go stand in the middle of the road while a car is coming and you wait to see like who is the first one to jump out of the way before they get hit. Really dangerous game. The way these kids play, there is a drawbridge over yonder near the bar, I guess. And when the bridge goes up, they'll shoot the gap. And basically as the bridge keeps going up, they go in like a line and they see who swerves to the side and stops before they try to jump the bridge. So they basically see who is the smart one. But they call them chicken. So it's pretty clear that Ginny, who is the newest member of their group, doesn't really know what's going on. She's not familiar with chicken. She's never played. She starts getting really nervous. She's riding in the car with Greg, who is that like hot-headed himbo. They're riding in the car and Ginny's getting pretty nervous. She's not really enjoying it, or maybe she's used to riding in the horse and buggy. Because we all know Pa Ingalls would never drive drunk like these foolish children. Side note, if this doesn't make sense to you, it's because Ginny was played by Melissa Sue Anderson, who is Mary from Little House on the Prairie. I grew up watching that show and I wrote Mary in my notes so many times when I meant to write Ginny because she's just Mary to me. So if I say Mary at any point during the video, I apologize in advance. My brain does not want to call her Ginny, but her name is Ginny. Her name's Virginia, but she goes by Ginny. So pretty much everybody jumps the bridge except for Steve. So Greg goes after Steve and he has to be like a big strong man, and he even jumps the bridge and he decides to put his friends' lives and the front end of his vehicle in an insane amount of danger. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that at the very least that would have torn off the front bumper of his car. But that's okay. Rudy's pretty psyched though.
Oh, wow.
You made it!
I love that line read. Yeah, okay, he made it, but at what cost? At this point, I'm no Marty McFly. You can call me chicken. I'm not jumping that thing. I'm not gonna tear up my car. Thousands of dollars worth of damage, I'm sure. Even in 1981, I would assume. I don't know cars. I'm not good at cars. I'm not good with money, but I know that this is wrong. Something's not adding up here. They get out of the car. Ginny's pissed, rightfully so. I would also be a little bit annoyed. And then, of course, she does the old stop and linger at mom's grave, you know, like you do. In every horror movie, there must be a dead parent, or just in every movie in general, I feel. A lot of dead parents roaming around. But she does the old stop and linger at mom's grave, and we also see Etienne. He's kind of following her around through the woods, because I guess Ginny's going home. She must live nearby. Rudy even says, like, she lives over there.
Maybe we should go after her.
She's okay. She just lives over there.
When she gets inside, we get some insight between Ginny and her kind of weird, really intense dad.
Can't live in the past, honey. Ginny, we've been happy together. I don't want any of those memories to change that.
He's given weird vibes. Creepy uncle vibes, maybe? I don't know. But while he's being weird inside, we got Etienne performing a breaking and entering upstairs in Ginny's room. He pickpockets a pair of Ginny's panties as he's perusing her personal belongings. Say that 5 times fast. While Frenchie's upstairs stealing a pair of Ginny's panties, we get a very planes, trains, and automobiles inspired speech that just gives us a little bit of backstory and gives us a little bit of insight into Ginny's situation.
I like living here. I like my school. I like my friends. Please don't take that away from me.
So the next day at school, Ginny gets straight triggered during science class, and that makes us kind of go back into her memory. Jenny's got like repressed memories of, basically she was in like a traumatic event. She has a little bit of PTSD, most likely. She was in a car accident that happened on, you guessed it, her birthday.
My birthday.
So I guess little Jin had some kind of experimental brain surgery, and I'm not sure if the surgery is why she repressed her memories at the time or if it was just, you know, trauma. But for whatever reason, she can't remember exactly what happened with the accident, but this science class thing, her memory comes back for a second and she kind of remembers, oh, I was in an accident on my birthday. She remembers that the accident happened. So her psychiatrist, Dr. Faraday, thinks it's a good step in the right direction. He also, like her dad, is super intense and frankly a little bit creepy.
I won't let anything or anybody hurt you. No, I won't.
Okay, Doc, I think you're laying it on a little bit thick. Remember, she's 17 turning 18. Let's just keep the hands where I can see them, all right? This movie jumps around a lot, just fair warning. You gotta just go with it. Like many of the movies on this channel, you just gotta say, okay, sure. It's sometime later and the gang is watching Etienne's dirt bike race. We jump to Etienne's dirt bike race and the gang's kind of all hanging out. He wins the race and kind of shows Ginny like, oh, I had this lucky charm with me and it's her panties. He's admitting to being a dirtball, like I said earlier.
No, it's just too bad Bernadette wasn't here to see you win.
I had to win. I was carrying this next to my heart.
God, you've got a lot of nerve.
If I were her, I feel like I would have freaked out, but she's very cool in her response. She's just kind of like, oh, he's so weird. Haha. Anyway, what are we doing now? Are we going to the bar? So they all decide to go to the bar because Etienne won the dirt bike race today. And Etienne's like, okay, I'll meet you guys there, but I am gonna like clean my bike. So anyway, Etienne is cleaning his bike in the garage and an unseen assailant wearing black leather gloves comes up behind him and they like throw his school scarf that he's wearing around his neck into the spokes of his bike and then they like rev the engine. I think this strangles him, but also there's some blood everywhere, but we don't really see what happens. You'll notice with this film, a lot of the deaths we don't see, or they just show like a split second of it and then it cuts away. I'm guessing the MPAA went really hard on this movie. I'm not sure about this. This is all just speculation, but I'm guessing that they went really hard on this movie like they did to so many movies of the same era and gave it an X rating, so they had to keep cutting to get it to an R rating. I don't know if that's true, but I would be willing to bet that it was. So I think that's why it's so like diluted as far as the gore and the deaths go. They did the best that they could with what they had, I'm assuming. So while Etienne is being murdered, the gang goes to the bar and they're waiting for him. He kind of doesn't show up. They're like, what's going on? Maybe Alfred knows. Remember Alfred? He's 1980s Finn Wolfhard. Well, he's kind of a weirdo, you know, taxidermy, and he's got a pet rat that I didn't mention earlier because it's not important. But they kind of are like, Alfred's a little sus. We're gonna go check out his house. We're gonna go break in. There's a lot of breaking and entering between these friends. It's weird. But anyway, Ginny and Anne, they decide they're gonna go break into Alfred's house and see if they can figure out like what's going on with him, why he's acting so weird. They sneak into Alfred's house and they come across a severed head. We all know what that means. If it's a severed head, I'm gonna be very upset.
No. Oh, Jesus.
But wait! There's more!
If you really think we've unmasked the killer in the first 37 minutes of this movie, you'd be dead wrong. It's not Alfred. He is weird though, because why do you have a fake severed head in your home? Basically, he's recreated Bernadette's severed head. At this point, Bernadette is just missing, right? They're like, where are you? They don't know where she is, but I guess Alfred has taken it upon himself to not only assume that she's been beheaded, but to recreate her head in a very realistic manner out of, I don't know, paper mache. They don't go into it. How he made this head and what it's made out of, your guess is as good as mine, but welcome to Happy Birthday to Me. Yet again, something that's unexplained and confusing and frankly weird and inappropriate. Come on, Alfred. You thought that that was okay? Okay, so we gotta figure out what we're gonna do with the eyes. I think I'm gonna use my little Colourpop New Moon palette. A little bit of a throwback. I don't know if they sell this one anymore, but they did at one point. A lot of smoky gold tones, and you know what? We could just hold it right there. Yeah. You can tell I was Team Edward in high school, and still, quite frankly, I just can't ever get behind Jacob, and I will not be answering any questions about that at this time. So anyway, we're gonna get into some of these yellow tones. I think I'm gonna do like a really grungy yellow eye, because as I mentioned before, yellow is my favorite color. People start looking for Bernadette and Etienne the next day. They finally care. They're like, oh yeah, these kids have been missing for a few days. Maybe we should look into that. The sense of urgency was not in the room with us, but that's okay. We're looking for them now. I guess they kind of allude to thinking like it's a prank because you remember these kids are kind of like little jokesters. You know, they think they're super funny and clever, but really they're just kind of annoying. Especially Rudy. Rudy's the one who looks like he's a cast member from Grease, and he is also like the resident prankster, kind of like messing with everybody, thinking he's like super funny. So it's kind of alluded, oh, maybe it's just a prank. I guess that's how the police and like adults are explaining in a way, like, oh, maybe these kids are just messing with us. So the headmistress, they keep saying she's like on the warpath.
Watch it. She's on the warpath.
But she's just like reprimanding them like a normal principal would, I assume. She starts grilling them individually and drops this baller fucking line, dude.
Your father is a very wealthy man, and I'm afraid that is the beginning of the trouble. You and all your gang, you think that because you are rich, you can sneer at people who have had to work hard, people who've had to fight to get a decent education, that you can do just as you please. Well, I'm afraid it doesn't work like that. At least not at Crawford Academy.
As the children say these days, I do fear she may be mothering right now. Let me just blend out this yellow a little bit. I honestly love this woman. Like, she's got a funky little mullet. She's got a huge bulldog. Said with all of the love and respect in this world that is even possible, there's no way this woman is not a lesbian. And I love it. I'm here for her energy. She is the moment. No, come on now. So after the interrogations, we get another murder. Surfer Ken Himbo Greg. He's pumping iron by himself at his house. He gets a little visit from one of his friends, and he addresses them in the way that, you know, we address all of our friends, right?
Oh, it's you.
Side note, I hate this in horror movies when they're like, oh, you, yes, you, the person I'm conversating with.
Oh my God, it's you, the man or woman who's been killing everybody.
Who calls their friend you? Hey, you. I'm gonna stop to blend for a sec. The killer enters in their giallo vest, complete with black leather gloves and a whole ensemble. I don't know what Greg did, but he must have pissed somebody off because he dies a pretty brutal death. As he's doing the dumbbells, I don't know, clearly I don't work out, so my terminology for this is gonna be less than ideal, but he's, you know, pumping his weights up or whatever. He's like, hey, keep adding on some more weight, man, I can take it. Classic Greg. So he's asking the killer to just keep adding on weights as he's lamenting about their friend group falling apart, I guess. There's a lot of boring side plots with their friends like fighting a lot as these murders are happening. I didn't go into it because it's boring. But anyway, he's still pumping iron and all of a sudden he's got the weight in the air and he can't put it down because the killer takes away the... I don't know what it's called. The thing that the dumbbells like rest on, like when you're done with a set, you like set them back on that little holder thing. He can't set down the dumbbells and the killer basically like takes away the holder thing. While they take the thingy away, the killer also throws a weight right on Gregory's Richard. Youch. Dumbbell to the throat is the death for poor old Greg here. And he even got like a kick to the dick right beforehand. Like that sucks, dude. Bye, Greg. You were in the movie. Do we form an emotional attachment to you? Not really, but that's okay. Smoking. Me like. The next day, we get 10-minute long, super unimportant soccer montage. So glad that they kept that in there. It was riveting stuff, truly. Ginny and Rudy decide they're gonna go hang out in the bell tower that they have on campus so that Rudy can do super normal things like this.
I will never forget you, my darling.
And this.
Give me a little kiss. Esmeralda.
And then somehow this.
Virginia, I've got a knife.
How did we get here? That escalated quickly. What is the purpose to all of this? We don't know because they don't show what happens. I guess Rudy is like acting super weird and obviously he just told her that he has a knife. So I think we're led to believe that like maybe Rudy's the killer, but we don't find out because the scene ends with a pool of blood and then the priest that like works at the chapel or whatever yells murder.
Murder!
And then the scene cuts to the next scene. So we really don't find out what happened in the bell tower at this point, which I found rather frustrating. I'm gonna use this is the Sochi Precision eyeliner. The tip on this is it's like a micro tip. That's the only thing we want to be a micro tip, am I right, ladies? It's really good for precision work, and I'm just gonna use it on the waterline. So yeah, what the purpose of this scene is, I don't know, because it just skips right to the next scene, and that is Ginny running to the hospital to get help from Doc Faraday. She runs to get help from him. She's like freaking out. She doesn't remember what happened in the bell tower. She like blacked out. I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but she kind of blacks out sometimes. And she just like won't remember. Like all of a sudden she's like, what? I don't remember what happened. Which honestly, like, same girl, can relate. I don't black out, but I do be forgetting shit like crazy. It's ridiculous. So the Popo shows up to investigate because now we've got like a shit ton of missing kids, right? To recap, we've got Etienne, we've got Bernadette, we've got Greg, and now we've got Rudy all missing. We quickly find out what happened at the bell tower between Ginny and Rudy. You're never gonna guess. Rudy's alive.
Hi there.
So I guess Rudy, when he was messing around trying to be creepy and funny, he cut his hand because remember,
I've got a knife.
And then I guess Ginny just like blacked out and left. God, I'm glad they left that scene in there. I don't know what we would have done without this 15 to 20 minutes of nothing for this movie. You will quickly understand why I'm so frustrated, because this movie was almost 2 hours long and it needed to be like maybe an hour 20 max. Anyway, I'm gonna use this new little Pokémon Colourpop eyeshadow stick, and it's the Jolteon shade. It's called Jolteon, the more you know. I'm gonna use her. To be 100% honest with you, I really just bought this because I don't know that much about Pokemon, but I think they're really cute and I wish they were real. I look at them and my eyes tear up because they're so cute. Do you ever have that, like with animals or fictional Pokemon? Jolteon is one of the cutest ones to me. I mean, it's a fox that's yellow. I mean, those are two of my favorite things. It's my favorite animal, my favorite color. Like, I had to get this. I'm not a really big shadow stick person, though. I find them to be pretty irrelevant for the most part, but we're gonna try it out. I'm gonna load that right up on my lid. Oh, girl, give us nothing. Wow, that's really unfortunate. Let's warm up the product on my finger a little, maybe, and see if that helps. That's like no pigment at all. Okay. I'm disappointed because I love Colourpop, but like, girl, what is this? This is nothing burger. If this is a yellow duochrome, I want a shift. I want it to be really noticeable. Hello? I'm just gonna use this as a primer, I guess, for like underneath another shadow. I am so disappointed. But I'm not sad that I bought the product. Look at the freaking packaging. Look at this. Can you stand it? Because I can't. Oh my god, look at the little Jolteons. Oh my god. I think I'm gonna take this little color right here called Mood Control. Load that up on my thingy and see if that helps. Oh, hello. Okay. See, that's more of what I wanted. You can see that a little bit better, I feel. Anyway, so meanwhile, outside, the police uncover what seems to be a skull. This is now considered an open crime scene. Of course, our resident creepy psychiatrist, Dr. Faraday, has to show up and mansplain all over the investigation. He like walks up barehanded, no gloves, and he's like, hey, chief of police, can I see that newly uncovered skull in my bare hand with no gloves and just like look at it? And the cop's like, oh, of course, yeah, I wouldn't know what to do with this. Like, I've never seen a dead body before. You take it, psychiatrist who has maybe no qualifications in police work.
Lieutenant, do you mind if I take a look at that?
Go right ahead, Dr.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure you can't just waltz into an active crime scene, like, and just grab stuff with your bare hands and be like, I know all about this, I'm a psychiatrist. I just don't think you can do that. Fox Mulder would be pissed. Detective Stabler would be pissed. Any police officer would be pissed. But not to worry. The skull's actually a fake. It's a replica from the science lab at school. So it's just a prank that somebody, probably Rudy, was pulling.
I think you should have another look at this. Property of Crawford Academy Science Department.
So thank God Doc Faraday was there to help with that. I don't think the chief of police would have been able to read the label that said property of the Crawford Academy Science Lab on it. Thank God. Thank God the psychiatrist was there to help him out. I wanted to grab another Colourpop product that I hope will bail me out. It's the Super Shock Shadow in the shade 11 Scoops. I think I used this in my last video, but I just want like an extra little something. There we go. Oh yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty. So anyway, even though that was a prank done probably again by Rudy, because, you know.
You made it!
Even though that was a prank, the murders are still very much real. And we see that in this next scene, where we get a little bit of a crisscross. So Ginny goes back to her mom's grave. She's hanging out by the headstone, having a hard time. And Alfred, he's kind of sneaking up behind her. He's acting a little suspicious, wearing a pair of black leather gloves. Where have we seen that before? We get a generally kind of creepy vibe because, you know, Alfred. And Ginny turns around and just stabs him right in the gut as he's following her. Little bit of a crisscross there, because we're kind of led to believe that Alfred might be the killer, obviously what with the leather gloves and the severed head replica that he has. His friends didn't even care that he had that severed head. They were like, Alfred, you little stinker. They didn't think this guy needs psychological help, or maybe we shouldn't hang out with him because he's fucking weird and he has a replica of our missing friend's severed head. They were just kind of like, it's fine. He's just being funny. Haha, that wise guy. Joke's on Alfred, because Now he's dead. Instead of Alfred, now he's Al dead.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Alfred gets got by none other than Ginny, our main squeeze, our final gal, if you will. She's giving those vibes, yeah? She's also wearing the black leather giallo gloves that the killer has been wearing the whole time. So that's the big twist, right? Ginny's the killer. Crisscross, that's crazy. At this time, I don't think the main character had been the killer in this context, right? It's kind of a big old plot twist. So that's gotta be the end, right? Wrong. We still have 40 minutes left of movie to cover. So I'm back. I did do some work with this little eyeliner from NYX that I've had for a while. I can tell I've had it for a while because it's very dry. I don't know if you can see it, but I just did some little like fun wings. I'm trying new things here. So before I forget, Ginny mentions that her birthday is Sunday, which is very important. Again, as we remember, this movie is called Happy Birthday to Me. I know it hasn't really had much to do with her birthday yet, but just wait, it will. I did think more of this movie was going to be centered around her birthday, but I guess it'll make sense in the end. So the following night, after this whole discovery of the fake skull, because I guess now the police think it's definitely a prank, I don't know. So glad that that happened. So after the fake skull and after Alfred's demise, we get a fun little scene at a disco dance, which reminded me again of prom night, where everything is all right. Of course, it's no 5-minute disco dance sequence, but hey, I'll take it. I was also again reminded of how much Steve and Nick from prom night look alike, especially now when they're at the dance, you know, doing their little moves and shit. So at the dance, we've got Rudy and Ginny. They went together even after the fucking prank that Rudy pulled on her, I guess, or whatever he was doing where he had the knife. And Rudy's ex, who I have not mentioned because, yeah, boring. Rudy's ex, Maggie, and Steve went to the dance together, and Ginny and Rudy went to the dance together. You following? I think Anne is shown, but other than that, none of the other top 10 is shown, I guess, because most of them are dead at this point. Those two couples, they're kind of dancing, they're having a good time. Rudy and Maggie keep like making eyes at each other because they're not over each other. That was another boring side plot that I just didn't mention because it doesn't matter. Steve is kind of over this whole thing. So he's like, Rudy, you can have her. He goes over to Rudy. He's like, hey, go dance with Maggie. I'm over her. I'll take Ginny. And they just do kind of like a little swapsies. Super bizarre. And Steve and Ginny are even kind of like flirting and stuff. And it's like, how fast do you get over people? Because weren't you just with Rudy? I don't know. They basically are doing the cha-cha slide out here and it's reverse, reverse. So yeah, Steve and Ginny, I guess, are now an item. Steve even gets like really flirty with her.
Let's get out of here.
Aren't you having a good time?
I'm sure, but we could be having an even better time.
And I thought the whole couple swapping thing was weird, but as we all know from prom night,
it's not who you go with, honey. It's who takes you home.
Can't argue with that logic. They bounce, and little does Steve know he's leaving with the killer. Because we saw her kill Alfred. She is somehow part of this, right? But remember, we've still got plenty of movie to go, so don't think that everything's all tied up with a bow at this point. We've still got more in store for you. So Steve and Ginny, they head out. Anne is kind of like, what are you doing? Like, why are you leaving with Steve? Since when are you guys like an item? Ginny's like, yeah, don't worry about it. We're gonna go head back to my place. And I mean, Ginny has a really good selling point for him, so how could he ever refuse?
I make real good midnight snacks. You hungry?
Well, in that case, sold. Take me home with you too. Poor Steve and Ginny head back to Ginny's place and she makes him those midnight snacks. Steve gets midnight smacked right in the throat with a kebab. I thought this was weird. It was just bizarre. Randomly, they're just sitting at our house eating kebabs. Hey man, I don't know. I just work here.
I don't know. I don't even run the place.
So she hits him right in the throat with a kebab, and we really don't see much of this kill either. Like, I guess she stabs him through the throat, but we really only see it for like a split second. So if you blink, you miss it. But if you do miss it, not to fear, the VHS cover art is literally this kill, him getting shish kebabbed in the old gullet. Again, Ginny has murdered someone, and we see her doing it. So we know it's her, right? Like, she's the one who's doing it. So she murders Steve, and then we cut to the next day. Anne stops by, and she's like, I want to get the skinny on what happened with you and Steve. Like, you brought him over for some midnight snacks. What's going on? Remember, though, Ginny has these weird blackouts where she can't remember a thing.
Come on, it's time to get up. I want to hear all the gory details about you and Steve last night.
Last night? What the hell was last night?
Been there, girl. I've said that a time or two as well. Anne's not buying it. She's like, whatever, girl, you just don't want to tell me what was going on with you guys. But something clearly happened. Well, obviously we know what happened, but Ginny doesn't. She's none the wiser. While trying to remember last night as she's showering, Ginny gets straight triggered again by the water, and she's reminded of the car accident that she was in with her dead mommy. So they were in an accident. Mom was boozing it up while they were both in the car. She sees that bridge that the kids play chicken on, you know, and she decides to try to jump the bridge just like the kids did, which explains Ginny's earlier little panic attack that she had when Greg was driving and they were playing chicken. Remember that? It was like fucking 5 years ago at this point. That explains that. Ginny is really triggered, as the children say, about that bridge because her mom tried to jump the bridge and, yeah, kerplunk right into the water. Thankfully, they show that same shot 4 times so that we get the message. I'm glad they did that. Glad they left that in there. We really needed it. Ginny makes it out of the car. She swims to safety. Well, actually, she gets hit by a fucking passing boat. She just gets clocked right in the head. She almost drowns. Her mom does drown, by the way. Mom doesn't get out. She dies in the car. So now she's got a head injury and she's got like intensive trauma, understandably so. And the water triggers her to remember what happened with her mom and why she has blocked out such a crazy event in her life, essentially. Brutal, dude. It got real dark there for a sec. So this all sends Ginny into a spiral. Like, she sees Anne's dead body in her bathtub, but is it Anne's dead body or is it a vision? Because now our narrator isn't exactly reliable, is she? She's having these blackouts. She's unwell in a way. Again, understandably so. Honestly, I think she's handling it pretty well. I would be losing it. Well, she's murdering people. Anyway, so this all sends Ginny into a huge spiral. She sees the vision of Anne's dead body. She's freaking out. She's crying. She calls over Doc Faraday because she's like, I need some fucking help. I need you to help me. And I guess this doctor does make house calls, apparently. Dr. Faraday comes over and basically shows Ginny that Anne's body is not there. Doc Faraday, or David, as she starts calling him, decides he's gonna like stay with her because her dad's on a business trip. So he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna stay with you till your dad comes back. I feel like this is turning into a Black Roses situation.
Well, I think I better stay here until your father gets home.
No, David, I don't think you should be staying in the house with an underage girl, even if her 18th birthday is coming up. She's still underage. She's your patient. Seems like a huge conflict of interest, but sure, David, sure. So after all of this, Ginny's kind of resting and Anne's car is found abandoned by the police. They stop by and they're like, hey, does Ginny know what's going on? She's Anne's best friend. Just trying to find a connection to like what's happening with all these kids. The police stop by and they're like, hey, is there any way that we can talk to Ginny? Again, Doc Faraday is super fucking weird and he's like,
well, suppose I have her give you a ring when she wakes up. Is that all right?
For some reason, the police are fine with that. They're like, okay, yeah, just let us know when you can help us with this active missing persons investigation on your time. No pressure, just whenever you're ready. Don't really feel like that's how it would go. I mean, they don't have any evidence that she's done anything, so maybe this is why. The cops head off on their way, and Doc Faraday decides he wants to try to get Ginny to connect her accident with her friend group. Like, why are these things connected? Why does she keep getting hashtag triggered? What's going on? So this gives us a flashback to Ginny's birthday, a couple of years ago, the day of the accident, which also really sucks. Like, her mom died on her birthday. I feel like nobody talks about that in this movie, but that's so fucked up. We flash back to her birthday a few years ago, and her mom has decided that she wants to throw Ginny a birthday party in the cottage on their property because they are that rich. They have a huge mansion and they have a separate cottage on their property, so must be fucking nice, huh? Ginny's mom decides she's gonna throw Ginny a birthday party and invite all of the coolest kids in school, which are, you guessed it, they're not the top 10 yet. It's just the ones that are missing. Let's recap. We've got Etienne, Bernadette, Alfred, Anne, Steve, and Greg. I think that's all of them. They are the ones that are currently missing. They were the ones that were invited to Ginny's little birthday soiree in the cottage. They were all invited and now they're all missing. So something's going on there, right? There's a connection right there. So her mommy invited them all, but I guess Anne was having a party the same day, and the kids decided to go hang out at her house because they didn't really know Ginny at the time. They weren't really friends with her. Her mom just wanted her to be friends with all these like elitist kids, and they just aren't friends. Like, it doesn't work that way. You don't get to choose your kids' friends. It's weird. But her mom gets like unreasonably pissed off that they ditched her birthday party. So she decides to take matters into her own hands, gets super hammered, and then drives over to Anne's family's house and demands to talk to Anne's father. And there's weird little like back and forth between her and the groundskeeper, who tells her like, hey, you gotta go home. You can't be here right now. You're drunk. You're acting a fool.
You get Will Thomason down here. Let him tell me that to my face.
Those things are over and done with. Don't bring them up now. Just take your little girl and go home.
And she gets really upset by this. She really wants to talk to Anne's dad. It's kind of implied that she has a history with Anne's dad. That may or may not come back later.
You hear me, Will Thomason? I can't be bought off ever again.
Pay attention to that because it is in fact important. We get back to the present, and dear old dad actually makes it back home from his business trip in time for Ginny's birthday, which was kind of surprising. Unlike in the past when he didn't make it to his daughter's birthday party, you know, however many years ago, the night that her mom died. Yeah, he missed that one, but he's here for this one, and that's what counts. So dad shows up. He kind of rolls up just as Doc Faraday is getting bludgeoned to death with a fire poker. Now I gotta say, this was surprising to me because I know that we have seen Ginny like murdering people, but I assumed that Dr. Faraday was like part of it. Like, I thought maybe he was like coaching her. I really thought he was behind all the murders. So I was kind of gagged that he died here. Maybe because he was creepy and pervy, I just wanted to like assume the worst of him, but I guess he really was just trying to help her. So Kale was wrong. Gotta be a first time for everything. Daddy Dearest rolls up and finds a ton of blood in Ginny's room. Obviously this scares him, so he runs off. He also comes across his dead wife's grave that has just been unearthed, like her empty coffin. Dad finds the corpse of Dr. Faraday outside of the cottage. It's in between his wife's dug up grave and their cottage, so I wonder what surprises he'll find inside the cottage. So Dad finds a lovely little birthday party for Ginny, and we get a very obvious psycho nod with a very slow chair turn into a corpse. And then we get the creepiest rendition of Happy Birthday that we've ever heard in our lives.
Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, dear Ginny. Happy birthday to me.
Ginny comes in with her lovely little cake in her birthday girl best, lovely little white dress final girl type of number. So Dad starts weeping, you know, he's like, what have I done to you? Oh my God. Because I guess he like doesn't really want to talk about her mom. I don't know, that was a whole nother side plot that I didn't mention because it wasn't that important, but the dad's kind of freaking out, obviously, as any of us would, right? Ginny does kill her dad here, which I don't think any of us are surprised by. Oh man. Now the cake is ruined. You got your blood all in it. Thanks a lot, Dad. That's not surprising, right? But get ready, because you're about to be surprised. Ginny kind of starts talking about how she's about to kill someone else. She walks over to Anne, who's kind of like slumped over on the table, because I guess she's still living. Pulls her up to reveal Ginny? I guess this is kind of like an evil parent trap situation because Ginny, the one who's been murdering everyone, is not Ginny. It's Anne in a hyper-realistic Ginny mask. How she created or found this mask, who can say? I'm guessing maybe Alfred was behind that part of it. Like, he gave her the mask without asking what it was for. He was like, oh yeah, sure. I always have a hyper-realistic mask of my friend's face in handy. Here you go. Have at it. But somehow, Anne has acquired this lifelike Ginny mask and a wig and apparently contacts because Ginny's eyes are like bright blue and Anne's are brown. So don't know how that happened, but somehow she's got all the tools to look exactly like Melissa Sue Anderson. Don't we all? Yeah, Anne is the killer all along. We get a little soliloquy from her about how she hates Ginny because Ginny's mom and Anne's dad were having an affair, and Ginny is the product of that affair. So apparently she's Anne's half-sister. Very Scream inspired. Maybe not the half-sister part, because that would be gross, but the whole, your mom and my dad were hooking up and it made my mom leave our family, so now I'm gonna kill you. Like, it's very Billy Loomis inspired, I would say. So yeah, I guess Anne has framed Ginny for killing all of their friends and is now gonna kill her. It's unclear. So, little bit of a twist in the final act. We've had multiple twists at this point. I guess in this final act, the logic just went poof right out the window. I mean, look at how Anne is unmasked. So I guess she took out her contacts and her voice went back to normal at the same time, because here she is acting like Anne now.
Surprised?
Yeah, I am surprised. Only because I didn't realize that a 9-year-old wrote this movie. That is our big plot twist. I don't think any of us saw that coming. Anne is unmasked as the killer. There's a bit of a struggle between her and Ginny, because Ginny's like, no, like, don't fucking kill me, leave me alone. And in the struggle, Ginny, like, pushes Anne and she accidentally stabs herself in the stomach. I don't know how that happens, but at this point, anything goes. That's not the most unbelievable thing about this film, so sure. Anne stabs herself in the stomach, and Ginny kind of pulls the knife out, and just as she's pulling the knife out of her recently deceased friend, the chief of police walks in, and he sees this.
God. What have you done?
Happy birthday to me.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
That is the end of Happy Birthday to Me. Worst birthday ever. What do we think? How do we feel? I gotta say, the end of the movie felt insane to me. I don't know if I expressed that enough, but I can express that here. It was insane. It's finally over. That felt like the longest movie ever made, and I know this review is going to be long, and I apologize in advance. I tried to leave out as much as I could, but it was hard. I feel like if they were to reboot this as like a 6-part limited series, that would actually kind of slap. Like, I think it could be good if they kind of changed some things around. I don't hate this movie, I just remain so confused about so much of it. I don't understand, is it supposed to be a slasher or a giallo film? Why was it a top 10 but only 5 of the friends were killed? Why were there so many filler scenes? Why was this so long? Why were there so many red herrings? There were like too many red herrings. Like, it's enough. Also, how did Anne acquire a hyper-realistic Ginny mask and chloroform? Because I forgot to mention that part. I guess every time Ginny was killing someone, it was really Anne wearing the hyper-realistic Ginny mask and chloroforming Ginny, tossing her like in a closet or something, and then she would go off and kill the person. So I think I didn't really explain that well, but that's the skinny on how Anne was getting away with all these murders. Because Ginny, her blackouts, I guess, were her being drugged with chloroform. It's kind of dark. I mean, it is a horror movie, but damn. I just don't know how Anne like got her hands on the hyper-realistic Ginny mask and the chloroform too. Like, that's super weird. Don't really know how that happened. I feel like there were too many cooks in the kitchen for this movie, so it just ended up being very confused and like convoluted. First, they want you to think it's Alfred who's the killer. He's kind of like the weirdo taxidermist trope. And then we get another trope with the nutty psychiatrist with Dr. Faraday. They try to make you think it's him. Then they try to make you think it's Rudy, like the prankster gone wrong kind of trope. And then you think it's Ginny's mom somehow back from the dead, the vengeful mother trope. They explored so many red herrings that it just got confusing, and by the end I was just ready for it to be over. I was like, Anne, sure. And honestly, I think they could have done it in a way that maybe like Anne was driving Ginny crazy and drove her to commit the murders, or they could have just had Anne be the murderer. I wouldn't have seen that coming. Like, it didn't seem like she was the murderer the whole movie, so they could have just done that. Or they could have just had Ginny be the killer. That would have been cool too. But the fucking Ginny mask was like, God, way to throw it all away at the end. Who made that decision? Because it was a poor one. I think they just added that at the end to add some shock value and distinguish this movie from other similar slashers of the genre at this time. I will say I didn't hate it. Melissa Sue Anderson does a great job in the lead role. There's a lot of funny dialogue, obviously, mostly with Rudy. He kept me laughing.
Oh, wow. You made it.
They kept my interest. Even though it was a long movie with lots of filler scenes, I still was intrigued by the mystery of it all. So that's gotta count for something, right? There were even a few interesting kills and some decent suspense. It's just too damn long and there's just too much filler, and you know, the end is insane. So this one's gonna get 2.5 pumpkins for me because I don't hate it, actually. I think it had the potential to be good and it just kind of lost its way, unfortunately. Sometimes that happens and it's like, damn, this one does need a reboot. And I think this one could use like a limited series type of reboot and they could do something with it. I would be interested to see that. And speaking of Rudy, by the way, I guess he lives. Like him and his girlfriend at the dance, we never see them again after that. I guess they live, which again begs the question, why was the top 10 even relevant in the first place if we were only going to kill the kids that didn't come to our birthday party? But anyway, thank you so much for watching Beauty and B movies with me, Pale Kale, and tuning in for Happy Birthday to Me. If you like this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know how you feel about this makeup look. I think it turned out pretty decent. I don't know if you can really see the yellow liner that much, but hey, I tried. I know this one is long, so if you've stuck through until the end, thank you so much. I will take that as a birthday gift to moi. Let me know what you'd like to see next, and as always, thank you so much for watching Beauty and B movies with me, Pale Kale. Catch you on the flip side. Later.